If you thought Squid Game was fiction, I have news for you, because it's not, and what actually happened is darker than the show. People and children are actually getting dragged out of their homes in the middle of the night, framed for crimes they didn't do, and brought into an island and forced to work or be killed, with eerie images showing just how closely the real Squid Game matches with the one in the show. Now in Squid Game, we have the frontman, but for this video, our villain is someone named Park Chung-hee, the owner of the haunting place called Brothers Home. Chung-hee mentioned wanting to cleanse Korea of people who were seen as poor or of lesser value, with him specifically saying poor people were causing disorder and were a stain to society, and that Brothers Home aims to quote-unquote purify the streets. One report talked about a boy named Choi Seung-woo who was kidnapped at 14. While he and his family were poor, he and his family never did anything to hurt society or break the law. He was kidnapped and then falsely accused of stealing bread and then tortured until he admitted he did it, even though he didn't, with the BBC saying he lied, telling the kidnappers that he did it because he just wanted to leave, but he never got that chance, and he didn't really get a chance to leave until many years later. And get this, police officers were often told to help kidnapping or even look the other way if they saw abductions happening. Seung-woo's family had even filed a police report, and the police fully ignored them and even got rid of the report. And then only within a span of a few years of doing this, Brothers Home was filled with almost 4,000 inmates, just like Seung-woo, who did nothing except be poor, and it was mostly children and teens. And the more Seung-woo or others cried for their family or from the pain, the more they would get beaten. Forensic investigations later revealed that many inmates were even subjected to medical experiments, with some reports suggesting pharmaceutical companies tested experimental drugs on some of the children. The level of dehumanization was so extreme that inmates were often referred to as human waste by the facility. Inmates would dress up in very similar Squid Game uniforms that were almost even the same color. Haunting images of staircases and hallways were the exact same color as Squid Game's staircase, and even the bunk beds in the large room all resemble the exact same dark time period. And much like how in season 1 of Squid Game the rich leaders were funding the game, in Brothers Home the rich leaders were exploiting these inmates for free labor. Many officers who were running Brothers Home told government officials that the inmates were only to stay for around a year. However, many of the people in the camp were never seen again, the leaders even insisting to the government that everyone was fed and clothed, but some of the pictures might show otherwise. One of the most haunting things about this story isn't even the actual resemblances with furniture and color to the show, but the resemblance to behavior, with South Korea even calling this the worst time period ever seen for human rights. And it wasn't even centered around race, but around class. And it seems obvious that perhaps the creator of Squid Game was referencing this time period when writing the show.